This film is not what it seems like, because despite its low budget, amateur production, and unknown actors, it's so incredibly inventive that I would honestly consider it, without exaggeration, a creative masterpiece. One Cut of the Dead from 2017. Now, I'll be the first one to admit that it straight up outsmarted me. I was this close to giving up on it, and the only reason I kept on watching is because you suggested it, my audience. And for better or worse, I trust you, although this time around, you really put that to the test. I don't get it. Why do you want me to watch it? Am I missing something? Do you not like me? See, the movie is about the making of a movie. We follow a small crew as they're in the middle of filming a zombie horror film, and by the looks of it, it's not going well. After yet another bad take, the director is shouting at his actors as they're not giving him a realistic enough performance. He's not seeing the fear in their faces. And considering he's gone into depth to make the movie, there is a lot riding on it. So as the events unfold, what immediately stood out to me is that it's all captured in one continuous take. Not just made to look like one take, something that a lot of movies do by hiding the cuts, but an actual, real one take. Which is very cool, but also very difficult to pull off, because not only do you have to worry about all the classic things like the characters and the story, but the added pressure of all the moving elements having to be perfectly timed. There is basically no room for mistakes, but as I was watching it, I couldn't help but notice a lot of them. I mean, sometimes you can just see the actors awkwardly standing around and waiting for the next beat to happen, like the boom operator missing his mark and entering the frame way too late, or the countless examples of them trying to remind each other of the script, or just those super uncomfortable long moments of confusion. I don't know if it is because they didn't have enough time to rehearse, or maybe it is mostly just improvised, but either way, it is just so clunky. And just to be clear, I understand that it is a low-budget production. I don't mean to be overly critical or nitpicky, but I have to be honest. So at some point, and it's not much of a spoiler, it turns out the director was so desperate to get a real performance that he did some magic stuff and revived real zombies. Which is not a bad idea, there is some comedy in that. Initially, they think the zombies are just actors because, you know, they're making a zombie film. And overall, the tone is pretty campy. There's a lot of blood, exaggerated moments, fake-looking props, and even one of the goofiest zombies I've ever seen. But that can only get you so far, so don't even get me started on all the truly bizarre, absurd, and mind-boggling moments that make no sense whatsoever. Okay, fine. First of all, why is the zombie just standing next to her and not attacking her? Why are we watching her scream for almost a full minute, to the point of her getting tired of screaming? Why is she suddenly able to freeze time and make the zombie stop? And if that's the case, why didn't she just do that and run away this whole time? Well, I mean, at one point the cameraman just falls on the ground and lays there until he finally gets up. I don't even know what the reality of this is. So zombies are real and they attack everyone, but the cameraman, who is clearly a part of that environment because we see him wiping the lens clean and even the director yelling at him to keep rolling no matter what, is somehow completely unaffected by it and not scared at all. I'm probably thinking way too much about it. At this point, I wasn't entirely sure if it was supposed to be one of those it's so bad, it's good kind of movies, like you're entertained by how bad it is. And even though I like found footage and untraditional filmmaking, I gotta admit, I was starting to question you. And it's not like the writing or the characters were anything amazing either. The makeup artist sort of switches personalities halfway through, and it kinda sounded like she was actually hurting the guy towards the end. Or even the director himself, who disappears for most of the time and just occasionally pops in to antagonize them and yell action. And then, after one of the most questionable shots I've seen in recent memory, the credits roll, and that's about it. Except...
Warning. Toni's mind has just been blown. And if you also want your mind to be blown, you should probably stop watching this video, because he is about to spoil the rest of the movie. In that case, please leave a like and a comment. He's desperate, and that external validation might finally make him feel like less of a failure. And now, spoilers ahead.
No. This whole time, it was a film within a film within a film. And bear with me because it gets truly amazing. So, as soon as the credits end, it turns into a traditional movie that takes us back a month earlier. We see the director, who is working on some cheesy TV dramas, get approached by network executives who offer him to direct a low-budget horror film for this new zombie-themed channel they're launching. They want him not because he's good, but because he's fast, cheap, and average. And there's one important condition. This movie is to be broadcast live on their network. One camera, one take, no cuts, and no mistakes. He's initially reluctant, and it is pretty obvious that everyone else has already turned down the idea, but seeing that it could potentially be his one chance to finally break into the industry, he eventually agrees. We then see the whole process leading up to the movie. The casting, the table read, the rehearsals, and as it unfolds, a lot of seeds are already planted, like one of the actors being an alcoholic, the main star being a bit arrogant, and the cameraman having problems with his back. That is all good, we get to learn more about the characters, but what happens next is where the real genius of this movie is, because we get to see the exact same film within the film from the beginning, but this time around from a different perspective. And as it turns out, everything went wrong behind the scenes. So now, all of these strange things, all the mistakes, all the bizarre, unexplainable, awkward moments, they all slowly start to make sense. And it is so satisfying to watch. That zombie that didn't attack her? Just a crew member having to give her instructions about a change of plan. That boom operator sneaking out? Stomach issues. The ridiculously goofy zombie? Just an actor who got drunk. The cameraman who fell down? Yeah, it was his bad back. Even the director, who we now realize was not supposed to be in it, which is why he was constantly showing up and disappearing, because he had to be running around to keep the show going. The attention to detail is... It is so fun to see what parts were planned, what were not, what the problem was, and then what ended up being the solution. Even the dialogue has a completely different meaning now. Like, because this is the one chance for the director to finally prove himself, he's going above and beyond to make the movie happen. So when all hell is breaking loose and he's yelling at the cameraman to keep going no matter what, he was actually talking to the executives who were ready to cut the live stream at any given moment. I don't want to give away even more, but believe me, problem after problem, they keep making it work. And it is both funny, but also kind of tense, and you're really rooting for them to succeed. And then, in all the chaos, they end up breaking the camera crane on the rooftop that was meant for this big overhead final shot. So what they do is build a human pyramid to make up for it, even if it means having to come up with a strange time freeze out of nowhere, or the final shot being less than perfect. But they get it done. And to me, that final scene really captures the whole essence of the movie. We see everyone, his daughter in the control room, his wife stepping in to replace an actress, all of the crew and all of the cast members, even the drunk one, all working together to make this impossible challenge happen. Which in a way is a really sweet love letter to both filmmaking itself, but also teamwork and just about any creative endeavor. And the fact that they even managed to sneak in some proper character development that gets you invested in those people, that's just the cherry on the top. This is so good. It's so clever. It's so good. I want to see it again. Wipe my memory clean. Alright, you know what? You keep suggesting movies in the comments. I promise you, I'll never question you again. This movie was made on a budget of just $27,000 and ended up becoming a major hit that earned well over $30 million, which is not just awesome, but a great reminder that creative work with real passion behind it will always be rewarded. So that's One Cut of the Dead. Have you seen it? Do you want to see it? What do you think about it? Let me know in the comments below. As you can see, I read all of them, and I'll see you in the next one.